Top of it. Look, man, I wanted to talk about why the American dream, as we've all known it, is completely dead. At this point in 2025, going on 26, I think we can all see clearly that it's almost like a new era has begun. COVID has been 5 years since that kind of put a strain on the world. And after about 2022, things got back to normal. There was a lot of thriving. I know I was thriving. That was really my peak of life, I feel, at this point. You know, my business was doing amazing. I was saving a tremendous amount of money. And I even got into investing in the stock market and buying the best companies when the market dipped that year, actually. And this is just for me and my perspective, but I can get a general idea of the whole world of how it was. It was a beautiful time just 3 years ago. And my money was right. I was investing. The market dipped. I invested everything in the market when it tanked that year. And 2023, the beginning of that, me personally, I was just that was my peak, the beginning of 23. And my investments were getting ready to take off, and my personal business was kind of having some issues, and I realized I needed to make a pivot. And I started taking chances with trading options, stock options, and whatever. And I pretty much blew it. Long story short, I had to dip into my investments through margin trading, which is a no-no if you don't know what you're doing, which I didn't. And I pretty much I blew through that whole bag that I earned up until then. And during that year of 2023, I watched the world change tremendously. It's incredible how investing, you can kind of see how the world is moving with the likes of Nvidia. When that was one of my big investments, when it really dipped, I was an early investor in that. And I watched that company go from like a pretty good company to the number one company on the stock market due to the success and the explosion of AI and the popularity of that. And they're pretty much they pretty much own the groundwork of AI. And we've seen 2 years later how AI it's the talk of the town, and it's not a phase, it's not a fad, it's not a trend, it's here to stay. And forgive me, man, these mosquitoes are starting to get me. But AI, man, we all saw it take off. And it's not like crypto or NFTs or anything like that. I'm realizing that it's a real new era. And you can see with the popularity of AI companies, ChatGPT and the likes, and all these other big companies are switching over and doing their best to implement AI into their company because they realize how much of a money saver it is and how good it is for their business to implement. And we also see as well how many people are losing their jobs at a crazy rate, almost an Armageddon-like rate, where even people with jobs such as software engineers no longer have a guaranteed job. It's something that's not really, it's not guaranteed as it was a few years ago. And AI is replacing that and many, many other jobs that are very menial and require just low skill and low labor. And all of that I say to really bring up the fact that things are shifting at an astronomically high speed. And the American dream, the dream of having a family, you have your wife as a man, you got a husband as a woman, and kids, and everybody got a house, picket fence, you live in the suburbs somewhere, you get to relax, maybe, I don't know, by late 20s, early 30s, you're good to go. That was the American dream for a long time, and in the past couple years, man, even before the AI boom, that was kind of dwindling, with 2019 and COVID really took over. And I even had a tweet not too long ago, probably around the time I started my business. I remember tweeting that, oh man, watch, as soon as I start to get my life together, the world is gonna pretty much go to waste. And it's kind of funny how I called it. I just had this feeling of like it's too good to be true. I started my business and I'm like, man, I'm starting to really get it. I have my freedom. I don't have to work for anyone. And it just felt too good to be true. I still got my business today, and it's really helped me stay afloat in life. But ultimately, man, the American dream, that fantasy, which now feels like a fantasy, but before it just felt like a more attainable goal where everybody could just get a job, a regular job. Not even like a super high skill demanding job where you had to have a 4-year degree with a master's in this and a PhD in that. All you just needed was a decent job, and you could lock in a house, get you a wife, and get out the way. And kind of coast and just, live your life to the fullest and travel whenever you felt like it, take your vacations, save a good amount, be able to have enough to invest and secure your future and have safety. But now, in 2025, at the end of 25, it truly feels like you almost have to strike gold. You almost have to either get rich, or you're just going to have to just take whatever the world gives you. There's no middle ground. There's no middle class anymore. The middle class, as we know it, slowly just disappeared in front of our eyes. And nobody really saw it coming, man. But it just slowly happened. And I feel for everyone out here who has a regular job, just trying to make it. $15 an hour. I remember in 2019 was what I was earning. 2018, 2019, about 16 an hour, when I last had my job working at the Apple store. And even back then, I mean, if I worked full time, I would be doing okay. I would actually be able to save and, invest and do all the important things in life. But I was working part time. They never gave me full time. So I was kind of struggling back then. But I know $15 an hour back then, you could do okay. But fast forward 6 or 7 years later, today, $15 an hour is not going to cut it, even full time. Especially to have a family and be able to provide is, man, goddamn mosquitoes, man. Sorry, look. Even that today is just not going to cut it. And so, let me wrap this video up, man. These guys are getting to me. What I'm saying is, man, the American dream, you got to change the dream. You got to have your own dream, man. You should have been had it, but most people don't really have their own dream. They have the, what seems to be the goal to reach, what seems good to aspire for. And at this point in time, you got to change the dream and customize it to what works for you. What's going to work for you? What's realistic? You got to get creative, man. You got to really get your hustle on. You know, you got to be able to provide value to the marketplace in some way besides your job. Even if you work in your job, you got to figure out a way to add value to your job or outside of your job, bring some income in, and because that's not going to cut it anymore. Jobs are quick to fire people. They're trying to save money. They don't even really want to hire people anymore. And to sit here and wait around for handouts and wait for the world to give you a solution it's not it, especially as a man. And I'm just here to let you know, man, do your best to bring it in. Bring as much in as you can. Get creative. Don't be lazy during this time. Now is not the time to be lazy and play video games and kick back. You need to start saving. Save as much as you can. Get creative. I think I saw somewhere that to own a house, to get qualified for a house in 2019, you needed a household income of about $61,000. Fast forward today, the figure was like $110,000 you needed as a household to be able to have a house. And that's such a huge jump in 6 years. 60,000 to 100 something thousand. It's like almost double. And at the end of the day, man, it's these politicians, it's these people that are in charge of the money printers, the banks, these big corporations. The greed is out of control. And there's nothing we can really do besides play the game and get creative and get your hustle on, or we can riot and, cause a revolution, which I don't think we'll do, because that takes a tremendous amount of organization and planning and strategy and basically war-like structures, which, I'm a part of an organization that could do that, but even that is still a far reach for what's required to take over this giant monster of a disaster that we are facing. And so the real option is to figure a way to come up with a plan for your family. You, if you're just single, if you have a family, come up with a plan that you and your wife or your husband and kids can come together and be able to thrive in this world, man, because I'm telling you, man, life is just not the same. Like, people aren't having kids anymore. That seems like a far out concept. People used to have kids in their 20s and stuff, and now I don't even know if I'll have kids till maybe like 40 something. And I'm 32. I'm about to be 33 next month. And I don't see myself having kids anytime soon. It just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense, unfortunately, and because I got to take care of myself, and that takes a lot at this point in time. Unless I can get ahead and I can thrive, then that's where you can do that. But as of now, man, we are all mostly in survival mode, unless you're a real baller. And shout out to the ballers out there, man. If you're a baller, hit me up. I'd like to connect and do business with you. But yeah, man, get your creativity up, get your hustle up, and just keep your mind up. Stay prayed up, man. Keep in contact with God. I know I've been talking about money and the whole situation with that, but make sure you stay in tune with the Most High, because at the end of the day, man, He's gonna make sure you're okay, whether you believe or not. The Most High, man, is a genius. I mean, look at the world. With or without man, this world was fine. and it will always be fine, and it's perfectly in order of how it's supposed to be. The animals are taken care of, you know, the squirrels, the birds, the bugs. Everybody's got their place, and they're all taken care of. Every single day the birds eat, the animals got food. They got enough, they'll figure it out. And the same goes for you, a high level individual, a high level organism. You'll definitely be okay. So don't panic. Stay connected with the Most High, because you're part of Him and He's in you. And to be honest, you are Him, just a different version. So that's what I want to leave y'all off with, man. And let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. If you like this, leave a like real quick. It don't hurt, man. And you know what I'm saying? Take a quick second. It's free. And if you want to see what I got else to drop, man, subscribe. I got more stuff on the way. And share, you know what I'm saying? Spread the message, because people are struggling out here, man. So that's it, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.